A recurring theme in many pieces of literature is that it is better to deal with horrible situations in an optimistic way. The piece of literature that struck me most was the song A Hard Rain's Gonna Fall by Bob Dylan. The song explains situations that aren't positive, such as seeing a newborn baby with wild wolves around it, stumbling on the side of 12 misty mountains, and being 10,000 miles in the mouth of a graveyard. These situations are definitely not ones you would put yourself in. There are many different ways that you can react to a situation. The two main ways are pessimistically and optimistically. People that react pessimistically are often downers. They are inactive instead of proactive. They contribute to the problem, unlike optimists who contribute to the solution. An optimistic person generally looks to the bright side. To them, there is always a silver lining. When one door closes, another opens. A Dutch study claims that optimistic people tend to live longer. The results from the study group found that the highest level of optimism was associated with a 30% death rate, while the highest level of pessimism was associated with a 57% death rate. Optimists are noted to achieve more than pessimists. This is because optimists tend to persevere in the face of difficulty, while pessimists are more likely to throw in the towel at the first sign of trouble. Pessimists are known to stop at a roadblock or an obstacle instead of trying to get around it. Some tend to think that being optimistic is unrealistic. Can this be true in some ways? Are optimistic people ever too optimistic? Is it better to rule out the negatives in a bad situation and only see the positives? In some cases, the answer is no. For example, an optimistic businessman can invest all of his money in a stock hoping that it will profit. A pessimist would be hesitant and look at the possible outcomes. Am I sure that my stock will profit? Am I sure I'm going to succeed? The pessimist will then most likely decide not to invest the money, and the optimist will end up losing it. Ultimately, it is safe to say that it is better to be an optimistic person, but you need to recognize the bad things. The violence in the world is recognized. Our world is faced with war, racism, poverty, and crime. Like Martin Luther King Jr. said, we all have the power to support nonviolence by simply taking a stand for love and kindness. No matter how serious the problem, we are never truly powerless in the face of a negative circumstance. Like Viktor Frankl said, everything can be taken from man but the last of human freedoms, to choose one's attitude in any given set of circumstances, to choose one's own way.